All right, we got a little Mad Mama drama here. How would you handle it if your 12-year-old was obsessed with makeup? In the email, it says, my 12-year-old daughter is suddenly obsessed with makeup tutorials online. She leaves the house looking like she's 20, and I feel like she's attracting way too much attention from older boys. My husband believes that she needs to be allowed to express herself and that it's harmless, but to me, I think it's crossing a line and adding to her maturity. For a girl that's 12, she shouldn't be going through walking around like she's a 17-year-old. There's a massive difference. I know. I lived those years. And now it's becoming a daily fight. And now she's starting to sneak makeup in her backpack. Am I being a controlling mom, or is this a legitimate concern for her safety and mental health? Now, my husband's a lot more liberal than I am. He comes from a family where anybody can wear whatever they want. Although I do agree to a certain point. I feel like makeup is just something that should come with an age, almost like a smartphone. It's giving them too much too early. Do you agree with me or my husband?
I think I'm more on the husband side. I'm all about pick your battles. Mm-hmm. And I don't think makeup is as bad as you're making it out to seem.
Okay. So you think that just it's not as serious as what you're making of it? And
I think that
let it ride?
You're making it worse in your head than it really is. And you still can have conversations with her about how to stay safe in the world as she navigates it. But, you know, I don't think the makeup would be the reason necessarily that she would find herself more prone to a bad situation. That's about choices and safety.
Now, she's buying this makeup with the allowance she gets. Is it fair to then just cut back on the allowance if you're mom and say, you know what, I don't like what you're spending it on, so I'm not going to give you allowance?
I don't know if I would do that. I just don't think makeup's that big of a deal.
Okay.
I think you're getting all bent out of shape about something that she'll probably grow out of anyway.
Yeah. Now, I mean, is it fair to compromise and say, hey, you know, you shouldn't be wearing that much makeup when you're just going to this or to that, and say you can wear it all you want here at the house and do your tutorials and practice on it and get really good at it, but there's a time and a place for it. Going to school, we don't need to go looking like a raccoon.
I remember back in the day that'd always be a struggle. My brother was into Sid Vicious. I don't know if you, from the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
He was, you know, very, I guess, angry and punk rocky. And he tried to do his hair like that. And my mom did not like that at all. And it was such a constant fight. You look like a punk going outside right now.
He's like, perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
He loved it. But even like something like that was a battle because he wanted to express himself.
Yeah, I think everybody probably has their fight on something, you know, whatever it might be. I know mine, it was rock concert T-shirts my mom just didn't like because they had drunk wolves on them.
It should have been about the mullet, but
she didn't like that either.
She didn't.
She didn't like anything that was going on.
I'd rather see, like, you know, the parenting stuff that would be important to me is talking about things like safety and friends and caring about your own personal, you know, safety when you're out and about in the world and being careful. And like, I just don't think makeup's the fight. I want to die on that hill.
And I guess that's the ultimate question is, do you make this a fight or not? So what kind of prohibitions would you put on this, or would you at all? And 56% said no, they would not, but 44% said yes, they would step in. So I could see why this might be a bit of a fight.
It's half pretty much for the most part.
Yeah, it is. It is. And look, I think when you get to something like that, you can put in some reasonable guardrails. And I think it might be limiting just how much makeup you do. Be like, okay, you got to go a little bit light. If we're talking about school and things like that. Now, if it's a fancy event, whatever, you go crazy. But we got to be there to monitor the situation that's going on. But we're talking about school, and we're going to do a little bit of a limit. You pick the 1 or 2 or 3 things you're going to be doing. I assume, like, you can just keep applying more and more and more stuff, Virginia, when it comes to makeup.
You can.
Okay.
But I think you got to be careful too. You know, how many rules are you going to impose? How many arguments are you going to have in your house? There's some things that I feel like work themselves out. And a lot of times I went through it. I had a phase where I looked like a straight up streetwalker. I had
A lot of rouge.
so much rouge, so much makeup, and eventually it kind of corrected itself. But my mom was never like, "You look ridiculous."
Hot pink lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, I did look ridiculous, but she didn't tell me that. She let me work it out on my own.
Blue eyeshadow.
Blue eyeshadow
Yeah.
was all the rage.
Teased hair.
I looked ridiculous, like an exaggerated Bratz doll.
But your mom kind of just let you go, huh?
Yeah, she kind of just let me do my thing, and then eventually, you figure it out on your own. You realize, oh, wait a minute, I do look a little bit clownish.
But there probably is a certain age, because to me, 12 still is young. But, I mean, the older your kid gets, the more they're going to want to dress the way they want. So what's that age where you go, there's really not much I can do about this at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
guess
that when
every kid's different, and you really have to gauge it and have conversations about it. And I just don't want to be that parent fighting over makeup.
Well, I just know if I was 16 and my mom or dad tried to tell me what to wear, and be like, no, I am absolutely wearing this sweet Old Navy shirt to school.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. It's only when like butt cheeks are out.
No, I know.
I doubt you would ever have been that butt cheek kid.
No, but I did want to wear a G-string one year. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it is one of those things. I think it's because it's an adult thing, too, when you're talking about makeup. And a lot of kids, they just want to feel like they're more mature.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's just kind of a natural thing. We got Kristen on here from Port St. Lucie with some thoughts on this. How would you handle this situation with the 12-year-old that wants to wear too much makeup, Kristen?
Hey guys, so I have 4 kids. I got 3 girls, and this is a tough one, even for us sometimes. But I think the problem is that the culture has already been created, that it's an open door and it's acceptable. And I think backtracking on that to now try to put a regulation on it is going to cause a lot of turmoil in the home.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think so too. And there's so many battles as a parent you got to fight now. I guess you just got to tell yourself, is this one of the priorities of the top 3 things that you really want to have a fight about? Because you really can't fight with a kid about everything. They got to have some things.
Right.
And I mean, with our girls, we told them from the get-go, like, makeup is not acceptable when you go out, but from a young age. But if we would open that door and allowed it, then it's like, well, how do you regulate a kid that you've already allowed it to when they're 12 and almost 13 and going through enough personal changes and hormones and attitude anyway?
Yeah, true. It is a lot. It's a lot to take on. You got to keep that in mind. They're 12. And so even getting advances from older boys and things like that, that's stuff that they're not used to. And how do they handle that situation?
This world is littered with werewolves out there.
And a lot of times, too, you don't want to take advice from your mom because she's stupid. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what it's like to be me.
Yeah.
So maybe don't try to give her makeup advice. Like, put her in the hands of, say, a makeup artist at the mall or somebody, who works at MAC. That store where they specialize in making makeup look good, but not look too heavy, like age appropriate. Have somebody else giving her lessons, not you.
Do you think it's too much to ask for a compromise that at least when she goes to school that we go with just a more stripped down version of your makeup? Or is that too much to ask?
Well, like the mom just said, once the cat's out of the bag, it's hard to backpedal.
Sure, and they've already let her have it.
Right. So now you're going to have a fight on your hands. I would instead try to be smarter with it and bring in help that's not you giving her makeup advice. Have actual makeup experts help her.